Greetings to you all. The title of our today's topic is Fatal Challenge of Evils. In this article, I would like to walk you through the formation of decision making of any individual around the world by simply identifying their day to day structured living environment. The fatal challenge of evils is still in progress since a few centuries. We have come to an era which I call it an alarming era for humanity's future. The illustrations, Deep 1, Deep 2, and Deep 3, are based on the common structures and resources that are available for any individual around the world. Developed countries according to today's standards. The individual is surrounded by the nature. The nature, for instance, speaks for itself. The allocation of this resource is a problem, and it has to do with the organizational structures around the world. The community is also self-explanatory, and its formation or allocation is vital for every individual around the world. The belief system is an essential part of the structured system. Just take a look at the way the parliaments are physically situated in a hall. I have done a survey on this topic, and the conclusion is that the designers of the parliaments have tried to reflect the divine justice by placing people in the hall according to a certain holy pattern. The social organization has emerged in objection to overruling public organizations with their extreme measures and decisions, and providing some more space and freedom for individuals. The technologies have always been a matter of secrecy to leverage one's power. Public organizations have great control over people's finance and assets. Structured or demonstrative governments illustration shows the seriousness of governing the people. Developing countries, individual, nature, community, belief systems. X. In developing countries, people have less access to social organizations. In developing countries, most of people has no access to sophisticated technologies. Most of people have access to public organizations in developing countries. Demonstrative governance. The same applies to less technologically developed countries. They do not have access to social organizations. They also do not have any access to sophisticated technologies. The public organizations are also a blurry area for the people in less technologically developed countries. Their government can be seen as demonstrative governance. we can identify the structural organization of an individual in developing countries as same as the description of an individual in developed countries, except the individual in developing countries is governed by demonstrative governments, and the individual do not have access to social organization and less access to sophisticated technologies. These marks can be clearly seen in these COVID-19 days. In less technologically developed countries, individuals face more difficult conditions. They also are governed by demonstrative governments and do not have access to social and public organizations and no access to sophisticated technologies. Now we have a base to compare the existence of an individual in different parts of the world. The hard facts. Since the beginning of COVID-19, I have been tracing the statements of public figures and noticed that they do not dare to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The vital point in our time is the unimaginable destructive power of alleged people who are involved in running the governments in different countries of the world. You do not need to be a fortune teller. Just look at the key events and turmoils in the world. 100 years ago, power was limited even though the biological weapon has been used during the First World War. 200 years ago, the power was much more manageable from nature's perspective in the sense that the destructive power of humanity wasn't as harmful for nature as now. 300 years ago, humanity has been flourishing and capturing the neglected time in its history by trying to develop new techniques and technologies. There was a rush on the need for supply capabilities because they could travel long distances, have had found some cures for diseases, realized that natural resources are at most importance, but did not realize the damage of their experiments on the nature, faced other cultures that have lived humbly and in harmony with nature. Unfortunately, all of this made them think that they are superior than others. The individual, nature, community, belief system, social organization, sophisticated technologies, public organizations. Now, the illustrations Deep 1, Deep 2, and Deep 3 shows a perspective of how an individual is connected to such a society in different parts of the world. An individual in developed countries, according to today's standards, has been surrounded by all the factors such as nature, community, belief systems, social organizations, sophisticated technologies, public organizations, and the structured governance. In this perspective, the individual thinks it has a safety net of social and public organizations and a structured governance system which is meant to be trusted. The individual's focus is, of course, on itself and the community, which is also a natural human behavior. A study in 2016 has shown that people between 50s and 70s are in favor of public organizations and their governmental system. The people between 20s and 40s are in favor of individual freedom. The source is internet. God bless you all. Till the next part. Bye.